This is a video for Section 8 Workbook Part 2, Volumes. In this one you're going to be creating a similar spreadsheet model to the distances model where you're converting volumes, in this case, to different units of volume. So we start with liters and we convert to milliliters, cups, fluid ounces, pints, gallons, and cubic feet. Some differences though is we've got a taller column, or row 3. It's taller than the rest of them, and we have some text wrap built into it as well. Fluid ounces and cubic feet are wrapped. We have this thick border here underneath the header row, and also we're going to go down all the way down 100 rows. So we go down to 500 liters, and this is a split screen. Split screens are common. Here's a split screen in Word. We can just grab it right here, click, and then we have two separate scroll bars, and we can scroll separately. The exact same thing exists in Excel, and let's take a look at our spreadsheet. Let's start by taking a look at distances again. This is the distances spreadsheet. The distances right there. And I've added a little bit of color so I can say the following. Everything in green is dependent on something in yellow. In other words, all of these values in green depend on what is typed into the column here in yellow. And in fact, all of these yellow numbers are based on formulas that all come back to this dark yellow one here. So the fact that there's a 5 here in this cell determines what all of these values are, which in turn determine all of those values. And what this means is it's a spreadsheet model. I can type anything I want into C4 here. I can type anything I want to in the dark yellow cell, and all the rest of the numbers will get updated. And that's the result of using formulas, and that's why it's important to use formulas when you can. Formulas containing cell references so that you can trace a change through your spreadsheet model. If, for instance, I had a particular distance in mind, I found that it was 27.5 meters across my backyard, I type in 27.5 here, hit enter, and all the numbers will change, and I can see across the top row here how wide my yard is based on centimeters, kilometers, inches, feet, and hands. So a spreadsheet model is useful if you've got formulas based on a key cell. You can enter the data in the key cell and everything else changes. Well, let's go to volumes here. I've already created the volumes tab. And we're going to create the same spreadsheet, only a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit bigger, and we've got some differences in terms of its header. Let's give ourselves some space here. There we go. So we're going to start again in B3. And in B3 we're going to have liter, milliliter, cups, and I'm going to enter these without any concern for formatting at this time. And you can see that in some cases, like fluid ounces here, because it's too wide for column E, pints will actually write right over it, but fluid ounces is still there. If I click on E3, you can see up here in the formula bar that fluid ounces has been typed into the cell. It's just hidden behind F3, which has the word pints. Well, I'm going to go ahead then and select this range of cells because I'm going to do some formatting on it all at once. I will make it taller. I will do Control 1 and go to my alignment tab, text wrap. I'm also going to have it centered horizontally and centered vertically. I'm going to have it bold, and let's set the border as well. There's going to be an inside-outside border. For that bottom border, I'm going to take it off and put a thick one in. There we go. So, oops, I forgot to shade it. I'm just going to use this for shading here. That's our fill bucket, and now it's all shaded correctly. So I'm going to wait to do the borders on the rest of the table until I've got all my numbers in. So the index column in column A, 1, 2, and let's just run this down. We need 100, correct? We need to go up just to 100. I think I went a little bit too far there. There's 1 to 100. And for liters, I'm going to start with 5, but I'm not going to put in 10 and run it down a series the same way I did in my index column. I'm going to use the formula again because the formula gives me more options when I decide to change the key input data. So B4 plus 5 gives me the answer 10, which I can fill down. So I can do the conversions. The conversions are given, I believe, on your assignment sheet. And there they are. A liter is 1,000 milliliters. A fluid ounce is 29.57 milliliters. 8 fluid ounces in a cup. Pint is 2 cups. Gallon is 8 pints. Cubic foot is 28.32 liters. So to calculate any of these things in terms of another thing, you know that that other thing is going to end up in the formula somewhere. And in each case, one single number is given, so you're either going to multiply by that number or divide by that number. So, a liter is 1,000 milliliters. That means if I have 5 liters, I've got 5,000 milliliters. The number of liters times 1,000. That's an easy one. So for cups, it tells me that there are 8 fluid ounces in a cup. I don't know what the fluid ounces are yet, but I know it's going to end up in E4. So that shouldn't stop me from putting in the formula for cups. There are 8 fluid ounces in a cup. I happen to have a cup of coffee in front of me. It is 8 fluid ounces. 1 cup, 8 fluid ounces. So the number of fluid ounces divided by 8 gives me my 1 cup. So if I take the number of fluid ounces divided by 8, that should be my formula for cups. The next one, fluid ounces. A fluid ounce is 29.57 milliliters. So it's going to be a function of milliliters. We're either going to take my milliliters and divide it by 29.57 or multiply it. Well, let's ask ourselves, is it a larger number or a smaller number I should end up with? If it's larger, I'll multiply. If it's smaller, I will divide. There are 29.57 milliliters in a fluid ounce. So if I have to take some cough medicine and I take 1 fluid ounce, I'm taking 29.57 milliliters. Therefore, any given quantity has a larger number of milliliters than fluid ounces. So the result here should be much less than 5,000 because the milliliters has to be larger than the fluid ounces. Therefore, I'm going to divide by 29.57. Don't let the decimals scare you. And now the cups have shown up. The cups have shown up because there's now an actual value in column E. Pints, a pint is 2 cups. 1 pint, 2 cups. If I got 2 cups, 1 pint. 10 cups, 5 pints. 5,000 cups, 2,500 pints. Whatever the number of cups is, I got half as many pints. Cups over 2. I'm intentionally boring you so that you'll turn this video off, actually, because you should be able to figure this out by yourself. A gallon is 8 pints. If I have a bucket of ice cream and it's a gallon in size, it's also 8 pints. 8 pints, 1 gallon. 16 pints, 2 gallons. 10,000 pints, less gallons. Anyways, let's just take the pints. And a gallon is 8 pints, so I should have much fewer numbers of gallons for each pint. And is this reasonable? 5 liters. What is 5 liters? A small fish tank, a large bucket of ice cream, 5,000 milliliters, sure. 21 cups, sounds reasonable. 169 ounces, reasonable. 10 pints. How much is a pint? A pint is like a large can of pop, so yeah, 10 of those would equal an ice cream bucket, sure. An ice cream bucket, 1.32 gallons, makes sense. The last one is cubic feet. Cubic foot is 28.32 liters. So 28 liters, 1 cubic foot. So if I've got a number of liters, I got fewer cubic feet. So I'm going to say equals the number of liters divided by 28.32. Enter. And now I'm getting really excited because all I have to do is fill this down like that. I'm going to need to fill it all the way down. Some of these have a lot of decimal places. The milliliters don't. I don't think it's necessary to worry about truncating the decimal places there. But certainly I don't want 50,000 decimal places. It's annoying and pointless. 3, I believe, was the prescribed maximum number. And it's all going to be bordered. Now you'll notice when I put that border on there, let's undo it and show you again. I highlighted this range and I went to all borders. And what it did was it took away my thick border that I'd worked so hard to put on the header. So I have to put it back. Control 1 gets me to the border tool. Thick border, there. Done. By the way, this is how you split the screen, like that. And you can scroll in the other section here. And this can get filled down again. All the way down. I'm just filling down with the formatting. And look, that one needs to be widened a bit. I'll double click. There we go. Done.